Right. Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening again to everybody here. Thank you for joining, even though I know it's a busy week for everybody, a busy time of the year. Now everybody is traveling again, and also peak period for many of you during the workday. But thank you for joining. And of course, this meeting's being recorded for those who cannot join. First of all, a warm welcome to everyone from Monaco. My name's Kevin Hin. I'm Senior Centre of WBAF for Monaco, and I'm also the Secretary General of the Genie Chamber International, JCI. It's my honor to also be the Secretary General of the Global Startup Committee of WBAF. It's the third year I've had the honor of having this role, working with our President Inderjit and with some illustrious board members too. And really hope that this year with a committee we'll be able to achieve great things in promoting the values of startups and of financial inclusion, female entrepreneurship, and all the other values of WBAF to the organization under the leadership of our chairman Baibars. So without further ado, I'd like to kick things off. So the goal of this meeting will be to introduce the various subcommittees of the Startup Committee, which you will be able to join to be able to create working groups and achieve some deliverables over the course of a year. So without further ado, I'd like to hand the floor over to our committee president, Professor Inderjit Singh, who joins us from Singapore, again, very late for you. Sorry about that. Yeah. It's as late as last time, though. So, yeah. But we had a great webinar last week about business diplomacy, of which both Baibars and Inderjit were keynote speakers, and it was very inspirational. As you know, Inderjit is a professor at Nanyang Technology University in Singapore, creating global startups in the semiconductor business, and is also one of the longest serving members of parliament in Singapore from 1996 to 2015. So yeah, I'd like to hand you the floor, Professor.
Thank you, Kevin, and welcome everyone to our first meeting for this term, for this year. Really looking forward to working with everyone. I want to thank Kevin. He did a great job last year as Secretary General, and thank you for agreeing, to continue to help us with this, to manage this committee again this year. So we have been around for a few years. What we did different last year was we organized ourselves in a lot more structured manner to create a few subcommittees so that we could focus and try to work on a few projects that could yield concrete results that could then bring us to the Congress, which we held in Antalya last year, to share some of the results that we achieved. So this year we have consolidated a lot more, and Kevin will share with you the structure and the committee structure, which all of you can join. We're going to be a lot more focused, and I would encourage for those of you, depending on which committee you join, to work together with the committee heads to focus on one or two critical areas where we can achieve some concrete results that again we can share at the end of this year when we gather at Durban for the annual Congress. And so I think we don't want to be ambitious to try to do too many things, but work with the committee to focus on a few areas. So Kevin is going to share the objectives of the committees. I would suggest that we keep the exact things that each of the committees that each of the committees is going to do to all of you. Work with the committee heads, and then come up with one or two ideas that all of us can agree, and then try to work throughout the year. So thank you everyone for joining this committee, and I look forward to working with all of you all and seeing all of you at the end of the year when we meet at Durban. Thank you. Back to you, Kevin.
Yes, thank you, Inderjit. And indeed, this is the main goal, to meet in Durban and to get some good work done and to present some deliverables and some results to the General Assembly when we finally meet there. So please allow me to share my screen. I'd like to welcome Natalia from Ukraine, who is one of our board members who just joined us, actually joining from Los Angeles, where it's extremely early in the morning, so thank you for getting up this early. And I'll hand Natalia the floor later on, but let's just begin now with the slides which I have. We just heard the address from our committee president, and I'll move on with a brief presentation of what we'll be doing here, introducing our executive council and talking about the actions of the board and the subcommittees. Our executive council, those leading the startup committee, is led by, of course, by our president, Professor Inderjit Singh, and we have several vice presidents of the committee who are all leaders in politics and government in their countries, notably the former Minister of Entrepreneurship Protection of Albania, who is now active in the Albanian Parliament, His Excellency Edward Shelsi, the former Minister of Finance of Kosovo, Professor Hikmet Badrami, the former Minister of Digital Transformation of Colombia, Mr. Germán Rueda, and the former Foreign Affairs Minister of Costa Rica, Manuel González Sanz. I'm also honored to be part of the executive council as well. And we also have our board lead, who up to last year was Mr. Sinan Tumer, the WBAF senator for the USA. Sadly, Sinan had to step back for some professional and personal reasons, but he did an outstanding job leading the board last year, and I'd really like to congratulate and thank him for his efforts. Of course, Sinan is still on the board this year, on the committee this year to help out too, and he'll be replaced by the new board lead who will be announced later on. The mission statement of our committee, I won't go into detail on this, you can read it here and you will receive the slides later on, but it's essentially to bring together the new generation of great companies and showcase the world's top startup and scale-ups to really introduce them to the right kind of funding, not just money and venture capital, but also what we as the World Business Angels Investment Forum do, providing smart finance, not just money, but also mentoring, advice, and business know-how as well, to be able to link investors and entrepreneurs in order to seal the best deals. Now, in terms of the action plan of 2023, as Professor Inderjit mentioned earlier, what we're planning to do this year is continuity compared to last year, to be able to enable social justice and job creation through entrepreneurship. This is the main goal of WBAF, promoting entrepreneurship around the world and in different forms, and boosting startups, mainly led by young people and by females as well, and by providing smart finance through innovative and digital SME financing to entrepreneurs and mentoring as well. Now, we've been talking a lot about the pandemic recovery context. Hopefully, by the end of this year, we won't be talking about the pandemic anymore. We've still got the last dregs of this in some countries, but afterwards it will be recovery from other sorts of economic and political shocks as well, which we need to deal with too, and boosting resilience in economies around the world and sustainability in businesses as well, to be able to ensure better economic and societal growth. Now, each one of these each theme will have a dedicated subcommittee. For the moment, youth and female entrepreneurship are together, but we might restructure this in the future depending on the board members. Now, how are we going to advance youth entrepreneurship, female entrepreneurship, and smart finance? by working with and supporting like-minded partner organizations to further these goals. Like any global organization, WBAF cannot function on its own, but it must partner with other organizations. And we shortlisted last year with the Subcommittee of Partnerships a whole list of organizations with which we could work. Obvious partners are the G20, since WBAF is one of the members of a global partnership of the G20 for financial inclusion. But there are others, like the United Nations, when it comes to the Sustainable Development Goals, the World Economic Forum, OECD, World Trade Centers, the United Nations World Tourism Organization, with whom WBAF has collaborated in the past on webinars, and of course, the International Chamber of Commerce, World Chambers Federation, and my organization, the Junior Chamber International, which hosts a Creative Young Entrepreneur Program to boost entrepreneurship amongst young people aged 18 to 40 around the world. The idea will be to undertake these actions at continental and national level. Therefore, we need your help as global representatives of the organization, international partners, senators, and senior senators, to be able to target and attract talented entrepreneurs who have been mentored through these subcommittees and the ideas, and bring them to the WBAF Global Fundraising Stage in Durban in November 2023, and therefore nurture them towards success. Now, yesterday, I heard so many great examples of WBAF business angels who were at the networking session talking about how they met and supported and joined the boards of many of the startups that presented at the global fundraising stage. So we only heard 2 or 3 success stories there, but I'm sure there are a lot more, and we want to hear even more of these success stories moving forward in the future. In terms of the action steps to implement these goals, what we're going to do now is to launch these subcommittees quickly and adopt the values by prioritizing youth and female-led startups at the global fundraising stage in Durban in November. And the various subcommittees, which the board members will be in charge of, will be here to run these different partnerships. So we'll have youth and female entrepreneurship education, smart finance and mentoring, and global partnerships, each led by a different board member. And of course, if you're interested in joining any of these working groups, please write to me or to the board member who is leading the subcommittee, and you'll get their addresses on screen later on, so that, and just copy me in, so that we can integrate you properly in the working group. Now, in terms of the timing, what we're looking at is by the 30th of June this year, we would expect each subcommittee to provide a short strategy and recommendation paper. It doesn't need to be a PhD thesis, but just something short and effective with key action points on the topics of female and youth entrepreneurship, smart finance and mentoring, and how to obtain partnerships. Last year, there was a very good focus on industry sectors case studies, like the gaming industry, for example, and esports, etc., which acted as a great base for our work, which was run by one of our committee members, one of our board members, Sandra. And as I mentioned, the ultimate goal is to have high quality projects at the global fundraising stage in November. So that's essentially the main goal of the committee. I hope that everything is clear for you. And if it is, if you have any questions, please write in, or we can please write in and we can be able to push things forward. Otherwise, I'll be available to answer your questions after this. Now, as I mentioned, we were looking to get another board lead, and after discussion with Chairman Baibars and President Inderjit, I'm happy to announce that the lead of the board this year is our board member, Sandra, from Slovenia, who is our senator and who will also be leading the World Business Angels Investors Week in June this year. So I'm happy to say that we do have another lady on the executive council now, which is very important because it's important to get so we've got two ladies on the board on the executive council now, and this is very important. At WBAF we need to lead by example too and have gender equality and much diversity as possible in global diversity in what we're doing. Now, Sandra could not join us today, but she did send a video message in, which I will try to broadcast to you. Unfortunately, the sound was not great. I'm just going to see if Mrs. Amagan, would it be possible for you to mute just for 1 minute, please, so that we can play the video? Thank you so much.
Hello, how are you?
Hello, I'm very well, thank you. Look forward to exchanging with you afterwards.
Well, I was in a subcommittee last year in Global Startup Committee. We couldn't do anything important because we did not join, we did not meet each other. I was in communication with Sandra. We communicated in several times. But as activity, I was not really involved to the many subject topics, etc. I hope to participate more than last year. This is my priority, if you want.
With great pleasure. Thank you. Thank you. Right. So I will share the screen now. There's a speech by Sandra which she shared. I hope you can hear it.
Dear Global Startup Committee members, dear Global Startup Executive Committee and board members, dear Chairman Vibers, Professor Linda, Kevin, dear colleagues and friends, it is my in our meeting. Nevertheless, I want to greet you and thank you for the hard work last year. So wish all fruitful work for this year. Within the mission, the Global Startup Committee will commit to helping the regulation companies moving forward and showcasing the startups and scale-ups. We have achieved a lot, yet the work is not done. We will still have a lot to do going forward. Nevertheless, we're increasing the important in connecting investors, with startups, in training and mentorship, helping companies that are seeking to raise funding in order to grow businesses, especially in those areas where business angels are as important as before advertising for starting the company. Within the subcommittee, smart financing and again, it's just for me, building our seminars, subsidies, finance, startups, business angels and investors week, and they then do workshops and they understand it's that's 9 of the sovereigns and this I would like to thank colleagues that led those other subcommittees, each of us has contributed in our work. And also I would like to thank our former board lead, Simon, for steering us in the right direction. I'm excited to work with all of you also this year. I wish you a very productive time. Speak to you very soon and start the work for this year as well. Thank you and wish you a good day.
Thank you to Sandra for sending that in. I'm sorry about the sound quality on that video, which wasn't great. Unfortunately, it was Sandra had a last minute change of plan, which meant she couldn't join us today and deliver her speech live. But essentially, she was giving a recap of her actions on smart finance last year. And indeed, she is saying that there's still a lot to be done, as Mrs. Armagan mentioned earlier. And it's a great way to carry on the work in terms of continuity. Speaking of carrying on the work, I'm just going to put this back on screen again. And a quick recap of the role of each board member is to support the final goal of the committee, which is to obtain high-quality startups for the global fundraising stage. And each board member will supervise one of these subcommittees and act as liaison to myself and the executive committee to ensure goals are met on time and getting strong engagement from all of you. So for now, we have 3 board members, our lead, Sandra, and 2 others who've been working with us for several years, Natalia Limonova from Ukraine and Mulyandi Nasuncion from Indonesia. And I know that Natalia needs to leave soon, so I would like to give her the floor now to talk about her topics. And Natalia, I'll give you the floor, and I just let me know when you want to switch slides. And I included slides both on youth entrepreneurship and female entrepreneurship too on there in your section. So feel free. The floor is yours, Natalia. Welcome.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for inviting me. It's an honor for me to be in such a great community. Dear Kevin, could I share my presentation? It's very short and...
Go ahead, please.
Okay, can you see my screen? Yes. Our subcommittee, the goal of our subcommittee is to develop youth entrepreneurship and to involve youth to create a better world through innovations and entrepreneurship. By developing youth entrepreneurship, WBF Global Startup Committee will expand the possibilities of startup economies around the world. We had 12 members from different countries in previous year. And we conducted a webinar for young entrepreneurs. And we have brilliant speakers and conducted several discussion panels about creativity, innovativeness, and youth entrepreneurship, about fundraising methods for going global and scaling up, and very simply guide for young fundraising entrepreneurs. And we plan to continue such learning events, webinars, roundtables, and mentoring to all members of WBF. And I invite you to enter to our subcommittee, to join us, and to build a better future together. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Natalia, for this great recap of what was done last year. And of course, hope that many of you can, also those watching the recording, will be able to join as well to so that there are even more than 12 members on the subcommittee this year to promote youth entrepreneurship. As mentioned, there are lots of initiatives with partners at JCI. We run the Creative Young Entrepreneur Contest, which would be a great opportunity to boost youth entrepreneurship. And there are also many other organizations that have that have similar contests as well. So this is a great way to find synergies with partnerships too. Before you leave, Natalia, maybe you want to post your email address in the chat as well, so everybody can contact you. Of course, Natalia is on the WhatsApp group as well of the committee, so feel free to.
Okay,
And
thank
then
you.
we'll move on to female entrepreneurship as well, which was one of the subcommittees last year, which right now we don't have a board member directly dealing with female entrepreneurship, and we do have a space open. So if anybody is interested in joining the board and taking over this topic, feel free to. In the meantime, if you do have questions, you can contact myself or Natalia or Sandra and any of the board members who can help integrate this. But as you know, for several years, female leadership and entrepreneurship has been one of the core goals of the WBAF, and there's a female leadership committee which is there to inspire more women to join the business community. And the goal of this female entrepreneurship subcommittee is really to laser focus and to work with the female leadership committee to connect with female entrepreneurs and help them join more boards of directors globally. So really focusing on the entrepreneurship side of female leadership. And this is how we've been working on this topic. Also to get more female-led and female-incubated businesses onto the World Global Fundraising stage at the World Congress in Durban this year. Now, I saw yesterday on the networking session that there were many female angel investors present and who promote this sort of business. So feel free to join if you do wish to boost female entrepreneurship as well. And I put Natalia's email address here, but you can also contact me if you want. Now, in terms of smart finance and group mentoring, this subcommittee is led by the board lead, Sandra, right now. And last year, the goal was to create webinars on the topic, and this might also be a goal for this year as well. So if you're interested in joining, you've got Sandra's address here, which you can take note of and get in touch with her. Her WhatsApp is also in the group. A quick recap of what they did last year is really seizing the opportunity, as you can see in the quote, to invest and build ecosystems now, because it's the right time to do so. And last year, the team created a series of smart startup webinars based on access to finance, talents and mobility, and promoting deep tech, focusing on female and enterprising young leaders. So again, you can see lots of synergies between the subcommittees of a startup group here. And of course, smart finance was at the core of, and will be at the core of this year's World Business Angel Investors Week. I know that many of you are also country chairs for World Business Angels Investors Week in June this year. So the topics which we're talking about, youth entrepreneurship, female entrepreneurship, and smart finance, are great ideas of speakers you can get for your sessions as well. I myself was the country chair for Monaco 2 years ago, and it was a great way to link female entrepreneurship, was a great way to link this topic together during the World Business Angels Day 2 on the panel session. And of course, as everything, the deliverable is a short strategy and recommendation paper to the committee board by the end of June. Our third and final subcommittee right now is the partnership subcommittee, which is led by Mulyandi from Indonesia. You can see his email address here. And the goal is to sign MOUs with key partners. I listed a couple of them, but there are other opportunities which you can maybe get both at regional level and global level by the time of the World Congress, which begins on the 20th of November this year in Durban. So if you're interested in joining the Partnerships Committee, subcommittee, Mulyandi will be delighted to support you. So I'm about to stop talking now and ready to answer your questions and get extra input from Chairman Baibars or President Inderjit if needed. But the next action steps are, if you do want to join the subcommittee, which I really hope you do, because that's the whole point of being on WBAF, it's being active and taking part in these actions, please let us know by the 21st of April. So you've got about 2 weeks to take a decision, but the earlier the better by writing to the subcommittee chairs or to myself so I can put you in touch. WhatsApp or email is the best way. And that way the subcommittees can start working straight afterwards as soon as the subcommittees are full. So yeah, look forward to hearing from you on this. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate. I hope everything was clear on this front.
Thank you very much, Kevin. Everything is very clear. I want to propose something new to the attention of the startup committee. Inderjit and me received a very interesting message from a high school in Turkey, Robert College, which is one of the best high schools in Turkey. And they want to cooperate with the WBAF to develop the entrepreneurship club of the high school, and they want an accreditation from the WBAF, and this came through a student who is a board member of the entrepreneurship club at the high school. And we like the idea very much with Inderjit, and we are working over it. But before that, maybe Inderjit, I mean, what I propose is, will be good to set up a subcommittee on junior the chapter issue. And if we find the documents they sent us, we have to review them. I couldn't find time to review, but we'll do it at the weekend, and we will chat with Inderjit. Then inviting these students as members of the subcommittee, junior subcommittee. And maybe it will be better to position global startup committee members not as a member of the junior committee, but as a mentor of the junior committee, and anyone who wants to deliver mentorship to these young people will be welcomed. But first, of course, we have to clarify thank you very much, friend, and it will be fine to clarify the steps they propose, because it is a long document he sent, and after we clarify the steps, then setting up such kind of a committee, and then inviting the students as a pilot project, Robert College as a pilot project, and by time we can spread this junior chapter accreditation system around the world for other high schools. This is what I propose.
Yeah, so I had a look at we have been talking to this young man, and so we have some ideas on how we can involve youth. And I think one of the things that they are more interested in is mentorship, like what Baibars mentioned. So there will be, the general idea is each school will have a club that will also be a chapter of one of our junior clubs that we will set up. So like what Baibars mentioned, I think we should let them run that thing, get a group of students to form that main governing body on behalf of WBF, and then the head of this group can join our committee, work with the youth committee. So that way we let them have a bit of independence, but then also we create a link. So these are just initial ideas. We will, Baibas and I will have a discussion this weekend. We'll solidify the plan and we'll come back to the startup committee and share, some of the ideas that we come up with.
By the way, of course, their membership at WBIF, these junior people, it will be free because they are students, and no need to say about this.
Yeah, I think this is definitely a great idea, and it'll be excellent to use the expertise of our committee members as mentors for these young students as well. So this is exactly what we're looking at with our existing subcommittees when we're talking about smart finance and mentoring and youth entrepreneurship. It ticks all the boxes. So it's a fantastic opportunity, and what was written on one of the slides, opportunities are here to be seized. So thank you for that, and we'll definitely find a way to work those into the existing subcommittees so we can move forward. Also, it's something which JCI could also support from outside as part of one of the partnerships too, when it comes to looking at ways to mentor the students through the various networks that we have, of course, and to bring more students in if there are junior chapters like this around the world to support WBAF. This kind of wraps up our schedule for today with a short agenda, but at least it was a good way of giving an overview. But we still have some time, so I'd like to, if you all agree, we can have an open forum for a few minutes. I'll hand the floor to, and I know that Chairman Baibas wants to say a few words again, but yes, the floor is open to everybody as well to, if you have any comments or questions, also just to introduce yourselves. If you want to network a bit, this is the time. But Baibas, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Kevin. Dear Inderjit, dear board members of the committee, I think you are following about the WBA Financial Inclusion Centers engagement with higher education institutions from the social media and from WhatsApp message, etc. So I brought these separate efforts together under one PowerPoint. I want to share it with you to give you an idea about what we are trying to do. And it will be fine if you can position yourself as an active player of this framework in your country, and in case you find yourself, you can be an instrumental body between higher education institutes and WBAF in your country. Just let me know, and I can talk more about it separately. I want to share my screen. We developed a financial inclusion program for higher education. I will tell you more about it now. But before that, which countries showed a great interest to this program? She is president of Higher Education Council of Bahrain, and she invited all rectors. There are 17 universities in Bahrain. And she invited the rectors and faculty, business administration department deans and faculty members to this meeting in Bahrain. And most probably all universities in Bahrain will start engaging with this program from September on. In May, I will fly again back to Bahrain and will make a more detailed meeting with them. Azerbaijan State University of Economics also signed an agreement with WBAF about this. And the first Angel Investment Management MBA program will start in Baku in cooperation with the WBAF. And we are going to propose two programs. One of them is Executive MBA, other one is Global Executive MBA. I will tell you now the differences. This is our signing ceremony. The week before, I was in Pakistan. He is president of the Pakistan Higher Education Council. and others behind. One of them is ISESCO president. The other one is Minister of Education of Pakistan. Other one is Minister of Education of Maldives. Other one is the Executive Director of British Council for Pakistan. So many universities in Pakistan will join, and the Higher Education Council is organizing the relationship between the WBF and the universities in Pakistan. This is the agreement signing issues. COMSAT is chaired by the WBIF honorary president for Ghana country office. You know, we have a country office in Ghana, and president of Ghana is also honorary chairman of WBIF Ghana country office. The person I am signing the agreement with is the executive director of COMSAT, and Ghana president is also president of COMSAT. COMSAT has 27 member states, including China, and it focuses on the development of science and technology ecosystems in these countries. And ambassador, the executive director, is a former ambassador in Pakistan, and we are now signing. We signed a letter of intention, and in July we are going to make a ceremony in Accra, in Ghana, with the participation of Ghana president, and COMSAT will promote the Higher Education Council framework of WBF to 25 member states. This is COMSAT's team, and National Science and Technology Park of Pakistan, which is the biggest park in Pakistan. Now we are signing an MOU. We have not yet. It is at the government approval. Then they will also join the program. And National Incubation Center also joined. We signed the agreement, and incubation center startups at the National Incubation Center, which is a government's a very, very big center, by the way. And there are around 100 startup teams selected from all over the country. They will all join this program. This is Executive MBA. This is the university in Baku, in downtown of the city. It is the oldest university of Azerbaijan, founded in 1930. Master of Angel Investment Management will be in Azeri language, in local language, and they will deliver the degree to them, which means they will be able to make PhD after completing this program. We are going to train their staff, their lecturers, for them to deliver the program. This is the global version, again with the same university. In the global version, there are some extra hours online, and in that case, they are receiving a degree plus a diploma. Diploma is something like a certificate of the university, but this is in English, not in Azeri language. So the difference between two programs, the first one is in local language, the second one is in English. You know, we are celebrating the World Business Angel Investors Week, and we are going to make the official ceremonies in almost 40 or 41 countries in all continents. And our main topic this year is global collaboration with higher education to increase financial inclusion. So we are going to discuss more about these. Sorry, my battery is ending. So what about the program? I mean, what we are offering to them? We are offering this package. It has different phases. Sponsoring students and faculty members for their access to WBA Financial Inclusion Center. This is phase A. We received all university students studying at the Azerbaijan universities, their emails, their departments, their names, etc. And we have created their digital ID cards for them to access, and we uploaded free credits for faculty members and students, so they can benefit more from this center. So our sponsorship is about this. And the second phase is we are going to deliver a QBS Plus course, which is funded by the government and their faculty members. And also it will be open to public, and they will be able to sell this course to make a financial benefit for the university. And after these faculty members graduate from this course, we are going to deliver trainer workshops for them. They are going to include fundraising 101, 201, 202, 301, 401, etc. for their business administration students. And they are going to deliver the MBA programs. And plus, we are going to make an assessment about the incubation center and entrepreneurship class of the universities. And the ultimate goal of this program is to establish the UBAN, which is the University Business Angel Network, which means we are going to invite the university graduates to invest in their in the students already studying at the university and create a strong bridge between the graduates and the current students and administration. And it will be something really interesting if each university will have its own business angel network who will invest in startups and entrepreneurial ideas of their universities. This will be also interesting for the research and development teams, R&D teams, because, you know, faculty members in many countries are also suffering from access to finance, and they are not able to convert their business, their inventions and R&Ds to business. So this UBAN will be also instrumental to close this gap. So this is the financial inclusion framework and for higher education. Now Pakistan, Bahrain, and Azerbaijan are done. But there are some countries in the loop, which one of them is Turkey, and the Istanbul Chamber of Commerce is very interested in having their Istanbul Chamber of Commerce University in cooperation with Boğaziçi University to do it. The only issue is the language, English language level of the students studying at this university. So maybe we will move to Boğaziçi University, where the teaching is in English. So if you have any university in your network who can show an interest to this program to join this framework, then it will be great to cooperate. And in case you are instrumental in this, I mean, creating this bridge with the university, then we will discuss what like a role you will have in this process. Thank you very much, and giving the floor back to Kevin. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chairman Baybars, for this great update and the exciting information about the collaboration with the universities. Just one question: if ever one of our committee members does have contacts, are there any documents you can provide to the universities, or how should they go about it? They just get in touch with you?
The next step is you will just text me which universities you want to have, to include, and then I will take it from there.
Great, thank you for this. Thank you for this. So great message for everybody and everybody who will be watching the recording of this session too. So we've got about 5 minutes left. Does anybody else have from a committee have any questions or comments about the committee or the subcommittees, or anything you want to add, or any suggestions so we can get things going? Yes, Mr. Kuntal Dave, go ahead, please.
Yeah, hi, thank you, Kevin, and thank you, Baybars. This is my first meeting which I'm attending for the committee, and I'm really looking forward to contribute to the activities which is being proposed. And I think the idea of collaborating with the universities and the young students is really very important. And those are the future entrepreneurs. which can really drive the startup ecosystem. I'll be very happy to contribute from my end. As Beba's guidance, I did undertake one workshop specifically advising on the successful exits for the startup. I can, modify or extend the scope of that particular workshop if it can fit into this program, which we are trying to do alongside the university. So Bebas, we can talk offline, and I'll be happy to contribute. And incidentally, in India, there are many incubation centers, primarily supported by Government of India, and the numbers are really staggering. And maybe we can, as a pilot run, start with one university and then see how we can link university and incubation center, because across India, there are government-sponsored incubation centers. So probably to tie up with incubation center, we may have to go through government approval route. But with the private university, I think we can start at least engaging with them and offer our this unique program. So Bebas, for that also we can in offline have a discussion, and happy to support that at India. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much, Kuntal, for this great information. Of course, in India, there are always exponential opportunities with a huge target audience. That's brilliant. So thank you for this. Jerome, the floor is yours.
Yes, this question is for Beba. Just wanted to kind of get some little quick answer pertaining to the university. Now, I know in Liberia, there's a huge potential for that, and a lot of interest would be as well. Are there any requirements for the university on their part?
The requirement is the university should have a business administration department, because all universities don't have business administration department. And the courses, for example, fundraising 101, fundraising 102, these are obligatory courses, modules for business administration students, but they are optional elective courses for other department students. So if it is a medical university, of course, it will not be something interesting for us. And I think for Liberia, it will be great if you get in contact with the president of the university or the minister. Generally, government universities are want to proceed after having an endorsement from their ministers or the Higher Education Council. My suggestion is, if you can, please try to understand if in Liberia there is a Higher Education Council, because this is not the case in all countries. If there is a Higher Education Council, better to make a Zoom chat with them. And however, I will be in Accra in July, then maybe I may move to Liberia and develop this dialogue. And you can also join if you have time to this trip, and we can meet with them.
Okay, sounds good. I'll talk to you afterwards on that.
Yeah, no, I think Baibazi had mentioned as well that English language was also a requirement, right?
Yes, we developed an entrepreneurship English language test, and many people are taking this test online, and it is taking this test is €45, but it is free for these universities. So we are making this test free of charge for the Azerbaijan State University or the Pakistan University students. It is online, and to understand the English language level, because in this let me show you something more about it. Just a second. In case the university wants to deliver an English program to develop the English level of their students, then we developed an influential English for fundraising program for them. And this program is including interesting modules. For example, module 2 is building your personal brand as a successful international startup. And in order to follow this module, then your WILT score should be 316. So this test is important because if it is less than this, then you are not allowed to register for this course. The other component is engaging with your individual strategic advisory board in English. The other one is investment readiness for qualified entrepreneurs and pitching on the global fundraising stage. So this English language program is completely a practical program for entrepreneurs of future. And they are learning English by teaching, by joining the board meetings, by getting mentorship from their mentors, etc. in English. It is a very detailed program. So this English language is also important, Jeremy. Now we are only able to deliver everything in English, but in the future maybe in Spanish and other languages, in German. But now we cannot.
Great, thank you so much for that. Very relevant. So we've got time for one last question. Frank, you've got your hand up. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, thanks very much. A short comment. First of all, I'm very impressed about the approach. I think it's a great approach, an outstanding approach to really to care for youth in that way, in that framework you build up. I also think it's very important to promote female entrepreneurship. My personal mission is to increase the success rate of startups. And looking at future times, which are kind of VUCA times, you all know the VUCA model, like volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. I think to become successful, it is important to have a most diverse team. The more diverse it is, I think the more successful you can be. This is a perspective I'm a bit missing here in the committees, because a diverse team means also people in color, people from other cultures, where a founded team can benefit from really different views and perspectives to enrich that. So this is something I would just give it in as food for thoughts, to think also from that perspective in future and to promote a diversity in founded teams. Thanks very much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for that. Indeed, diversity is extremely important, and this is, we do have an extra board position available. So if you can co-opt anybody who can make things more diverse, feel free to. Right now, our board is composed of members from Europe, also from Asia, but we're missing members from America or from Africa or the Middle East. So if it's, and that's not out of design, it's due to supply and demand, essentially. So that's why if you do know people from those or committee members from those areas, feel free, so that we can try to be as representative as possible. So thank you for your comments. I think this, unless anybody has anything urgent to mention, we can wrap things up since we're after our hour. Thank you again for taking part in the Startup Committee. Several of you for several years. Others have just joined, and I hope we can create some great synergy, because as you mentioned, Frank, the diversity of experiences, of origins, of different people creates the static electricity and the emulsion which is needed to create great success and to create innovation and new ideas. So we fully subscribe to that at the WBAF level too. So thank you again. The recording will be made available shortly, I think, for those who are not watching, who are not here. And